Well, good morning to you. Jesus is still Lord. The word still works. I'm not offended. Fighting the good fight of faith. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 12. To fight the good fight of faith. That's the one that we always win. Now, if you're going to fight a fight of faith, there's got to be some enemies to it. And so we've been talking about those. One was being distracted. But I want to talk today, maybe the next couple of days, about a major problem that's in the church today and that you've got to guard yourself against. I wrote out a whole bunch of scriptures here so that I don't have to turn the pages. But watch this, what Paul said in Philippians chapter 1, verse 10. Paul made this statement. I want you to get this. That ye may approve things that are excellent, and that you may be sincere and without offense till the day of Christ. Be without offense. In other words, don't have any at all. Then he also, in the book of Acts, get this. And hereto I exercise myself. This is verse 16 of chapter 24. And here do I exercise myself. So being free of offense is up to me. I can't pray, Lord, keep me from being offended. No, it's up to me. And watch, being free of offense, I exercise myself, watch, to have always, I love this, always a conscience void of offense toward God and toward man. That may be the only two scriptures I get to today, but watch this. Offense, being offended. Well, I don't like what he said. What he said was wrong. It doesn't matter whether what he said was wrong or not, and I don't have to like it, but I can't let that offend me because the offense will keep me from receiving from God. That's why it says, I exercise myself always, every day. Somebody says, yeah, but I don't like what that particular news media person said. I don't either, but I can't get offended at it. You know, it doesn't hurt him for me to be offended. In fact, he don't even know who I am. Well, I don't like what that politician said. Neither do I. But I can't pick up the offense. Now, let me read this to you real closely. That's the last verse I got here. I want to read this to you. And herein do I exercise myself. In other words, I'm the one that's got to take care of this. To have always, that's 24/7, always a conscience void. In other words, nothing in my mind is going to consider the offense of whatever my husband did or my wife did or what the kids did. I'm not going to let that offense stay in there. What's void of offense, now this is important, toward God and toward man. Well, I was talking about, I don't like what he said. I don't like what he did. And that's an offense. Well, some people get offended at God. I got to go back and read a couple of verses here on that. I wasn't going to do this one till tomorrow. But they get offended at God because it doesn't look like God's going to do what they want him to do. In the book of Matthew, Jesus said, let them know, go tell John that the gospel's being preached, people are being healed, people are being set free, the lepers are cleansed, and the deaf hear, the dead are raised, and the poor have the gospel preached unto them, and blessed. Right there. That's Matthew 11:4 and Matthew 11:6. And blessed is he whosoever shall not be offended in me. Well, how could I be offended at God? Well, you prayed a prayer, and it took more than an hour for it to be answered. It might have even taken more than a couple of days. And so you got upset and said, well, where'd you go, God? What happened? Something went wrong, and you got upset about it, and you blamed God for it. That's offended at God. Jesus said, blessed is he, she of course, that is not offended in me. So you've got to guard your heart with all diligence about this thing of offense. Let me go back down here and read this again. And herein do I exercise myself. Now, I can add the word here very easy. Herein do I exercise myself to have always a conscience void of offense. So I can add the word herein do I exercise myself daily. In other words, this is something that I have to do every day to make sure that I don't let offenses, come up in my life and cause my heart to be in a place to not receive. I'll show you this tomorrow in the book of Matthew and also in the book of Mark, where Jesus could not do many mighty works there because they were offended. An offense puts you in a place where you cannot receive from God. It's just simply not worth it. I was working on my car yesterday, my old Hummer. I've got an old 06 Hummer, and the alternator had quit on it, and so I had to take a lot of parts off to get to the alternator so I could remove the alternator, put another one on it. And when I did, I found something that somebody had done that I had paid to have worked on years before. In fact, I had put an alternator on it years before, and I found where this guy put this piece up over another piece, got it all wadded up and folded up, and I got, well, that dumb old mechanic, and I thought about it, and I called him by name, and I realized, hey, I'm offended. You know, that I paid good money for this job and he didn't do it right. And then I thought, nope. I am not going to get offended at what took place 5 or 6 years ago. I'm just going to fix it. Now I brought it in the house and I had to unfold it up and take a hair dryer and get it hot so that rubber part would fit back up on there. And I'm sitting there saying, you know, I don't dumb guy that I had work on this thing. And I realized, boy, you picked up an offense right out there. Cold. I was working outside and it was cold and I got offended. I can't afford that. Notice that Paul said void. Now, void means nothing. I'll put it this way. Nothing. Don't let offense have anything to do in your life because it hurts you, not the person you're offended at. In fact, the old guy that did that has now died. So it sure ain't going to hurt him for me to be offended. Hey, I got to go. Keep offense at a 0. And until I'm with you tomorrow, saints, remember all day. Hey, Jesus is Lord. Thank God the word works.